Thank you for coming to our webinar talking about the Doctor of Social Sciences. Very pleased to be with you for 60 minutes, to be with the program office as well, answering all the questions you may have. And as we get started today, let's do an acknowledgement of traditional lands. So maybe as you arrive in the space, you can even take a deep breath, ground your feet on the floor, and let's reflect on the indigenous lands we're on today. So at Railroads, we are located on the traditional lands of the Lekwungen-speaking people, known as the Songhe and Esquimalt First Nation. And it's really with deep gratitude that we now learn, play, work, study here where the past, present, and future of indigenous and non-indigenous people come together. And if you know the indigenous lands you're joining us from today, please use the chat, introduce yourself, and introduce the lands that you're on. More people are joining. Welcome. Hello. And yes, we're here to talk about the Doctor of Social Science. So I won't take too much time today because I really want Mary and the team to be here for you. But we have, Mary Bernard. Hello, Mary, professor and program head. And I think you want to introduce your team, Mary, so I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you, Nancy, and welcome everyone. It's great to see the number of people that have registered and joined us today. As noted by Nancy, I'm the program head for the Doctor of Social Sciences. I've been with the program since its inception, but more recently as program head over the last, 5 years now. I'm very fortunate to work with an excellent team who, if you apply to the program, are here to assist you, as well as myself, as well as other faculty members that can be viewed by looking at the Railroads website. I'd like to introduce Carol Sandu, who is the manager of the college, who will in turn introduce the rest of our team.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you. And I'm so happy to see so many of you here. And my name is Carol Sandu. I'm very thankful to also be joining this session from the traditional lands of the Lekwungen speaking peoples, Songhees and Esquimalt nations. So happy and have lots of gratitude for this. And I want to introduce myself in that I'm the manager for the College of Interdisciplinary Studies. And I'm most happy in that I work with a wonderful team who supports this program. I'm thankful that I was able to work with this program since 2011 for several years and passing on the baton. We have a program coordinator and a program associate also supporting this program. And I'll let Daria take it away and you introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. My name is Daria Torbica, and I am a program coordinator for the Doctor of Social Sciences program. And I've been with the College of Interdisciplinary Studies for the past 5 years. And I am very happy to see this great turnout of you interested to join your studies with the Doctor of Social Sciences at Railroads. And my role has been to support the college in many roles, but most importantly to support the students through one of the most important studies, Doctor of Social Sciences. So thank you for joining us, and I'm going to pass on the baton to Yvonne.
Hi, everyone. It's very nice to welcome you today to our webinar. My name is Yvonne Westcott. I'm the program associate for the Doctor of Social Sciences. I've been with the college for about 2.5 years, with the university for 5 or 6 with different schools. So great to see everybody online today. I'm the program associate, and that means student support and instructor support all through your program. So welcome.
Love it. Thank you so much. And I'll pass it back to Mary in a few minutes. I want to say a big thank you to Enrolment Services. We have Carla here with us today. So Carla will be posting a lot of helpful links, and all those links will be shared with you as we share the recording after the session. And my name is Nancy Prévost-Maurice. I'm an education specialist at Railroads. I'm with Railroads for 7 years already, and very grateful to be working here and learning with all of you. And I have to say, this program is just wow. So good for you for considering it. You're really a champion, and I'm very, very happy to be here, and I can't wait to hear the questions and what comes out of that webinar. So I will just quickly introduce railroads. I think if you're here, of course, this is the agenda, sorry, for today. We'll just do a brief overview. I really want to focus today on the program itself. So we'll talk about the program at a glance. We'll review the admission requirements and application process, and we will do a Q&A at the end to answer questions as we go. And we have many beautiful videos of railroads, so I hope you get a chance to look at them on the YouTube channel. But here are a few kind of pictures that represent our campus. We are a public institution since 1995, so still a young-ish school, and we are located in Victoria, British Columbia. But as you know, for this program, most of it will be online, but you'll still come to campus a few times a year, a few times during your program to meet with us on campus. And this is why we introduce the full team, because you will get to meet with them. So the iconic building on campus is Hatley Castle, where many movies has been filmed. We do lots of events, student events, weddings, a lot of stuff happening in Hatley Castle. We have the Japanese garden. We just got a new tea house where you can go and sit and relax during your studies on campus. At the bottom left, you can see Esquimalt Lagoon, which is a beautiful bird sanctuary just at the bottom of campus, which is, again, super peaceful to go for a walk. Some of our students will study there or do some testing, depending on the program you're in, and online learning for 25 years at the bottom right. So it's a good reminder that it's not something we do recently, the online teaching. It's really something we have done since day one. So we were always a university for working professionals, and you will see as we go through the next slides that it really shows in all the programs we offer and the way you will learn from home and sometime on campus. And before I pass it over, we are a Changemaker campus, and we're very proud of it because only a few institutions in North America can get that designation. So it's all about innovation, approach to education that prepares students, as you can read here, world problems, encourage others, and act for the good of all. So it's really about kind of the teamwork, team building, and really acting for the best of the future of the world. And I think you'll hear beautiful examples as we go through the next slide. So I will mute myself and pass it over to Mary here for more details.
Oh, thank you so much, Nancy. I guess I can go to the next slide already. Okay, what is a Doctor of Social Sciences? Well, first of all, I'd like to say that it's a hybrid doctorate. There are many types of doctorates, but they in Canada and North America, in the Western academia world, Europe and others. But they basically come down to two types of doctorates. There's PhDs and there are professional doctorates. So for example, if I could do a PhD in psychology, which would be the PhD and a research base, or I could do a PsyD, a psychology doctorate, which is a professional doctorate that's more oriented towards a specific career in psychology. Our doctorate, the Doctor of Social Sciences, is a combination of the two types of doctorates. So we take what we say there on that first point is that we take the best of the research base of the traditional PhD and combine it with the applied research of a professional doctorate. So we're hoping to capture the best of both worlds. And that allows you not to lock yourself into one profession, like a doctor of education or a doctor of psychology, or in terms of a PhD into the one discipline, but allows you to think about your career or change in career and how a research base can help you advance your career, and more importantly, or as importantly, work on a very practical question that will better your community or your organization or society or the sector that you work in. So it's very much based on real world life, but with that strong research base, always evidence-based results for the work that you do. On the third point there, you'll note that we build upon your existing knowledge and your life work to date. And even if you're changing your focus of your work life, you want to draw upon all of those skills that you have learned, leadership skills, facilitation skills, organizational skills, whatever the case may be, and incorporate them into the competencies that are required for this program. So that's who we are, Doctor of Social Science. The degree that you get at the end is DSoc-Sci, and you put the prefix doctor in front of your name. So it'd be, so it would be like Dr. Brown, comma, DSoc-Sci. Okay, I think I can go to the next one. Now, you'll note here we have the major title, Applied Interdisciplinary Approach. For many, many years, I worked at York University, where I was with a program called Faculty of Environmental Studies, which was an interdisciplinary program at York University. And it stood out because among all of the other programs that York offered, because it truly was interdisciplinary. It drew in all of the disciplines that were relevant to an individual's plan of study or particular focus, whether it was psychology, sociology, environmental science, and so on, so that those students could, focus in particularly on an issue or problem that they wanted to solve. So you can imagine my delight when Royal Roads University was created in 1995, because the whole university is interdisciplinary. You won't find any departments here labeled biology department, English department, sociology department, etc. The whole university is based on thematic areas that are interdisciplinary in nature. It could be peace and human conflict. It could be professional communication and culture, for example. And of all the degrees, 50 or 60 degrees that we offered, you'll find them all have this interdisciplinary base. And the reason that we do that is that not to take away from the tremendous value of discipline-based research, but not all research needs to be discipline-based. So many of our real-world problems in this especially in this current environment, require looking at a multitude of ways of bringing information together and exploring the value of multiple disciplines that apply to the particular area that you're interested in studying. We've listed a few areas there on the slide, but that's a small portion. Right now we have about 100 students currently registered in the Doctor of Social Science program, and I think I could easily add another 10 items there to this list where broadly we could fit students into. So as long as it's a social science base, as opposed to a natural science base, then it's fair game to apply to the university. And even if you have science that interacts with your social science, that's okay too, which we certainly do in, for example, in people that are focusing more on the environmental studies portion of their work. think we can go to the next, Nancy. So I've already talked about interdisciplinary applied research. Nancy referred to the blended learning model where we have residencies and online classes. The residencies are absolutely mandatory. They're 3 weeks long. You enter in January at first online and get a start on 2 of your courses. By February, you come to campus for 3 full weeks. And during those weeks, on the cohort-based model, you work intensely with the cohort, the other people who had applied to the program to be in the February cohort. And that's part of the learning process here, is how we learn from one another. So even though there might be no 2 people in the same specific area that come into the classroom, usually we accept 14 or 15, you will find that the base of what you're gaining here, the social science theory, the paradigms, the research methods, and so on, provide the common base for interaction. And then each of you begin to share your specific work that you want to do. And there's a lot of peer review during the residencies. Academia, at the base of academia, is peer review, because whatever you do becomes public ultimately. And we want you to start that peer review process with your own cohort and other members of the Railroads community at that time. The teaching during that time is very intensive. As you can imagine, we make use of every moment of the 3 weeks that you're here. But we also try to make sure there's some opportunity for a little fun as well, and to enjoy our beautiful campus. You know, Nancy showed you some pictures at the beginning, and I have to say, you know, I visited a fair number of campuses over the last, you know, decades, and it's got to be one of the most beautiful sites, beautiful campuses anywhere. You know, we're right on the Pacific Ocean, overlooking the mountains, and with old growth forests, and as well as gardens that are just beautiful. Nancy referred to the Japanese garden, but that's not just a small garden, like it's several acres of garden for that one alone. It's beautiful. The last item there is the flexible supervision model. And that means that we have our core faculty that you can draw from. And then we have a large number of associate faculty. They may be with other universities, and or they may be even in universities in other countries. But you're allowed to choose supervisors from outside of Rural Roads University, as long as they pass the criteria to be a supervisor, i.e. to be associate professor or full professor, be at an established university, have their own research agenda, publish and do research in the last 5 years, because we don't want people practicing on you. They have to be, they have to be well established. Okay.
Amazing, Mary. Just a quick question I got in the chat, or someone messaged me directly, is about the cohort base. So people will follow each other throughout those years. Is that correct?
The cohort stays together. It's always their cohort. The first 2 years, they are pretty much on the same page, because they're usually taking courses together, unless somebody gets sick and have to take a leave of absence, or, you know, or has a new baby, or, you know, we're all adults, so life continues. However, I would say that once people start the dissertation phase, there tends to be quite a bit of variation. But what I find is most people stay together online with their cohort, like the conversations continue, but they may be at different phases at that time. There's quite a bit of variation on when people take their candidacy exams, how long it takes you to actually do your data gathering, etc. But you stay connected.
I'm getting a thumbs up, so that's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just conscious of our time here, so I will not dwell too long here. I think I've covered most of it. Online courses and residencies. You have to pass a candidacy exam. Typically, it's 4 years or 5 years. You have 7 years in total. So it's a big commitment of time and energy and money. But you can stay in your home community. You don't have to stop working. Although some people will take, some people will take some time during the writing stage or data gathering stage, like to maybe take some time off work or use their holiday time just for intensive writing. Okay. And here's 2 links here, so you can take a look through our pages for online. When you go onto our DSOCSI website, there's 2 areas there that you can look at. You probably already were on our program page, but I wanted to bring your attention to our current students. And I think when you first go on, you see about 7 or 8 of them, and then you look to the bottom and there's a click on to see the full number of students. Okay. And this is just information on funding. One thing I want to emphasize is if you're thinking of applying, keep in mind that the tuition, you want to make sure that you can cover your tuition before you go too far down the road. And if it's not the best year for you, like just kind of keep that in mind, because you want to be sure that you can self-fund if you don't get funding otherwise. And of course, we encourage applying for scholarships and our internal, we have internal funding as well, external funding, just like the other universities for SHRC and and Social Science and Humanities Research Council, Canadian Institutes for Health Research, MyTax, which has been great for us, federal program. I would definitely encourage you to look at that information. But when I made the list of things that are required, time and energy and finances, it's a big commitment. But our attrition rate is very low, meaning that most people love what they're doing, are glad that they're doing it. It's very low compared to the majority of PhD programs, for example, in other universities. And that's, I believe, because of the model that we have. People can work on the problems that are directly meaningful for them. It's unlike some other programs, which are very valuable, but different from us, where you're working on a gap that the supervisor has identified in terms of their research. So, and you don't have to get your supervisors until after after you're in here. You're usually about almost a year in before you settle on your supervisors or finalize your proposal. Thanks, Nancy. Yes, sir.
I'm trying to find my unmute button. Some people are saying that there's a little broken link, so don't worry, we'll send it. I think it's in the chat. I think it's royalroads.ca/admission now, so I will fix that. But thank you. I think this is a question everybody has all the time for sure. It's like, what about funding? And I think the program, something to add to as we look at the web page, the program amount there will be for the full program, right? It's not just for 1 year. Let me change the slide here. Thank you everyone for your question in the chat. I think Mary, one question we got was, can the supervisor be from outside Canada? And I think Daria said yes.
That's correct. Yes. Yeah, again, as long as they meet the criteria, there's 2 levels of approval. The criteria is like an established researcher, if it's from another university outside of Canada, that are either at the associate professor or full professor level, and that they have an active research agenda themselves, that they be close enough to your area, that they can provide their expertise. There's 2 levels of approval. The first level approval is mine, and you can discuss your choice with me. So that before you ask the outside person, I can kind of give you an indication first of the approval process. And then the second level approval is the Dean of Graduate Studies. Two-part
Wonderful.
process.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Someone is asking about, have you seen people taking less than 4 years to do the program? I would imagine it's a minimum, but is that a thing?
Yeah, it has happened,
Okay.
but very rarely. Very, very rarely.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's kind of to set people up for success, we say 4 years minimum. Perfect.
Yeah.
And some people are curious about residencies. So yeah, when you come to campus, if I'm not mistaken, we will live in the residency on campus, and people will have access to the cafeteria or cook their own food.
Yeah, and maybe Daria or Yvonne might like to elaborate there.
Yes, I'm happy to step in about the residency part. We do have on-campus accommodation. We do provide information and resources prior to the residency to our students to review and maybe even book rooms on campus. There are also areas around Colwood that students have previously been booking, and there is food, and we will provide more information prior to the start. So these are the things that are definitely available at Royal Roads and around Victoria. Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And what we hear from students is that those on-campus intensive learning opportunities are a must because, yeah, as Mary, you mentioned, we connect together and yeah, we learn from each other. Some people are answering each other. That's wonderful. I think maybe the latest question before I go to how to apply, how do you help students identify and pursue their research interests? And I think, Mary, you talk with many of the applicants.
Yeah. If anybody from this webinar wants to have a discussion with me and one-to-one discussion, just get in touch with Yvonne, and Yvonne will set you up with the time for us to meet. And usually, it's anywhere from like 15 minutes to a half hour, depending on what you would like to chat about further. Yeah, usually, people would speak to Carla in enrollment or someone else in enrollment first, often, not necessary, but always. Sometimes people will contact me directly, but it's good to get the more detail about the whole enrollment and admission enrollment process first, then come to me in relation to specifically to talk about your research interests. And you would contact Yvonne Westcott to do that.
Wonderful. And I like, Mary, one more question because I love this one and it's a tricky one, but how would you say the DSOC side compared to other doctoral programs such as the DBA? Do
Yeah.
you see big theme there? Thank you.
Yeah, no, the DBA program head and myself, we work very closely together because we have some common activities as well. For example, in the third week of residency, the final couple of days are devoted to a joint conference where you present to your peers and and are part of a peer review process. We also, if I talk to somebody and I think they're better suited for the DBA, I'll let the student know that and contact Hassan to let him know that, and then the student is free to follow, or applicant is free to follow up with them. And sometimes we do joint presentations where we kind of talk about the difference. The major difference, is like the approach to management. It's like, because it is a business degree. So that's what, but sometimes it's a very fine line. It could go either way.
Thank you so much. I'm taking notes as well. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time, Mary. And yeah, I'll go to a few slides about admission requirements. Feel free to jump in, or anyone from the school, and then we'll go to some Q&A, but I think we're doing pretty well at answering everybody as we go. So if you're here, you're excited, you want to apply, and I know some of you in the room have already applied or thinking about it. So here is how we do. So the admission requirement for this program and all that information is on the website. So it's not something you have to like retain by heart. You can totally have a look on the website. So we ask for a master's degree in one of the social sciences or related field, as Mary mentioned at the beginning of the session. Evidence of experience related to the degree program, normally a minimum of 10 years with senior level decision-making authority. And again, this is something you can always discuss with enrollment advisor to see. Sometimes we think we're not a good fit, but then you discuss with someone and you're like, oh yeah, I could totally see myself there. And that just gives you a sense too of the people who will be in your classroom, right? Like all those people have tons of experience already. And an interdisciplinary applied research proposal that reflects current research for the School of College of Interdisciplinary Studies or the school within. So I don't know, Mary, if you want to, I think we talked about it a little bit, and I might have another slide. Anything to add on that third bullet?
Yeah, I would just say that the interdisciplinary applied research proposal, we might even put the word preliminary in front of it. The purpose of this is to give us a good idea of what you're going to do, but we know you're not locking in. We know that it'll change like substantially before you actually begin your research. And you have well over a year or more to, to fully develop your proposal. But we also want to make certain that we're the fit for you too, right? That we have enough knowledge of what you want to do that we can make a judgment. Okay, we can do that. We can help you there. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's very useful. And then here, how to apply. So I'm sure some of you have done it before, but we ask you to go on the website and you click how to apply. Of course, there's good chances you will have talked to Mary or team or an enrollment advisor before, but as you go through the website, you will submit a fee, an online application first, and then a little fee of $136.39. And then that will prompt you to submit more documents. So we ask for official transcript from all other degrees you have taken at other post-secondary institution, a detailed resume, your writing sample, 3 letters of reference, and that preliminary applied research proposal we're talking about. And of course, it's a brief overview here, but on the website, you really have every item here is really details of what we need, who needs to submit your letters of reference, what should your resume have and include. So it's really just an overview, but please have a look at the website, and I think we're even getting some links here. But it's really, you need to build your application to really showcase who you are and where you want to go. And the key dates, people have been asking, when is the next intake? So the program has one intake per year, the next one being January. So this is why we do the webinar now in July. We really want you to have all the time you need to reflect, look at funding, talk with financial aid, and submit your document. So the application deadline is October 12th, but you really don't have to wait until the end. You can already submit your application and start working on your documents after talking with the program office. And if you're not ready for 2026, you can already apply for 2027 with a deadline of October. So we ask all documents to be submitted 3 months prior to the start, just to set you up for success again and have that move away from your mind. You're like, okay, now I'm registered, and now what? And then you can start building your schedule around your program for a few more years. Anything to add on this program office here? I think that's summarized here. We're so grateful for Carla to be with us today. So there's a lot to talk about, but really our Enrollment Services team, they are here to look at all this with you. So the website is a good resource for you, plus what you hear today. And something fun too that you can see at the bottom here is that you can be connected with faculty and alumni. So you can, I think on the website, we have fantastic stories of past graduates in this program. But if you have any question, you can even meet with a student or alumni, which is fantastic. And this is the email to use. I know many emails have been shared in the chat already, but really the easy one to remember, learn.more@railroads.ca. And online, you can also book what we call a lib call appointment with someone that can be over the phone or over Zoom. And I love to end the session with our little peacock picture, because we have about, 70 peacocks now on campus. So you'll hear them as you come to residency. But yeah, a big thank you for all of you for staying for the full 40 minutes. And then I'll stop sharing and we can answer any question you might have. Thank you.
Nancy, it's Carla from Enrollment Services. Sorry,
Yes.
there's not a video of me, but I just wanted to quickly touch on, several people had asked about the tuition amount. So as you had spoken to earlier, the 89,000 and some change amount is for the full program. There are generally 2 payment options that are provided through student accounts. One is essentially like a lump sum payment that becomes due about a month prior to the start of each year of your program. And the other one is a monthly installment option, which does come with an additional annual installment fee. And then the tuition is broken down. It's somewhat by month, but also depending on what course, the number of credits you're taking in a time period. Our student accounts department does manage all tuition payments. They will create a tuition payment schedule that they will post, which will likely be about maybe 2 to 3 months prior to the program start. So in the fall, it should populate just under the program schedule within the overview page of the Doctorate of Social and Applied Sciences. So I just wanted to touch on that. If you do have questions about tuition, you can reach out to us in Enrollment Services. And we will likely connect you with student accounts, particularly if you're looking for it for employer reasons or financial funding reasons. I also noted that there were a couple extra questions that came in. So at the end there, Nancy,
Okay.
so it was just, and might need Mary to assist with this. They're asking so they've completed their master's degree some time ago, and so they're not in contact with their professors. Is it acceptable to submit 3 professional references?
Do the best you can to get at least one academic. You know, and we run into this all the time, because it could be 20 years ago, 25 years ago, since you were last in school. So it's understandable, but best you can, like, try to get, somebody who can speak to the academic quality, even if it isn't one of your former professors, but somebody that can speak to the academic quality of your submission, who can comment. They might be working with you in a professional capacity, but try and get them to comment on the proposal itself and your ability to be able to do such work.
Love it. Thank you. And I'll stop sharing again, but I think to your point earlier, Carla, too, is that will appear here on the website when we have the payment schedule. That will be over here and we can download a PDF. So that's just what I wanted to share with everyone.
Nancy,
Any other question? Yes.
I just wanted to add, if you find out that you really can't get an academic reference and you do what I suggested instead, please note that in your submission, like when you write your proposal, just so people who are on the adjudication committee can know why you weren't able to, and they'll understand.
Really good. Yeah, if you were at Railroad before, you don't have to submit your official transcript. Will be on record. Does the program have a max number of students?
Yes, we're competitive. And I find it works best when we're around, 14, 15. There's a bit of a unknown what number we'll actually land on because it's a rolling enrollment, but also if somebody's deferred and they decide to come on that, because you can defer you have an opportunity to defer, but sometimes we find out like it's a game of trying to make sure that what information we have about deferrals, and having made already sent notices to people about accepting versus those who can come that year. So sometimes we've gone as high as 17.
Okay.
And we've gone as low as 10 because of the way the system works. But 14, 15 is nice. And, it is competitive.
Sure, yeah. I don't see any more questions. Does anyone want to unmute? I can even stop the recording now and we can have a few more minutes of conversation. Of course, there's no one-on-one we can do here. We're not able to really assess every case, but we can answer any general question. But I'll stop the recording here. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Mary and Carol and Daria and Yvonne and Carla. It's really a teamwork is a dreamwork, I think we say so. Very grateful, and we'll send that recording over the coming days.